Hi, John Farrell with the Farrell Law Firm, and today we're going to be talking about estate planning done right using Burt Reynolds as an example. But first, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we put out new videos every Tuesday and Friday, and make sure that you hit the like button because, hey, every like helps. All right, John Farrell with the Farrell Law Firm. To tell you a little bit about myself, I am the author of Estate Planning for the Modern Family and was recently voted one of the top 3 lawyers here in Cobb County, Georgia, along with the law firm being voted one of the top 3 law firms here in Cobb County, Georgia. Well, today we're going to be talking about estate planning done right, using Burt Reynolds as an example. For those of you who do not know Burt Reynolds, he is an American actor and really an icon of 1970s American pop culture. He was an actor and he was in a number of hit movies, including Deliverance, The Longest Yard, Smoking the Bandit, and The Cannonball Run, among many other films. Well, sadly, he passed away on September the 6th of 2018, and we often talk about how celebrities make mistakes with their estate planning because it is an easy way to provide an example on how you can do better. Well, Burt Reynolds was somebody that got it right, and so we're going to talk about what he did and why it worked out well for his family. All right, so there's been a lot of news about the last will and testament that was filed by Burt Reynolds' family when he passed away. Specifically, he had a provision in there where he omitted his son from receiving any inheritance in his will. Well, the newspapers and television gossip shows really picked up on that to say, why would Burt Reynolds intentionally leave his son out of his last will and testament? Well, specifically, Burt Reynolds wrote, "I intentionally omit him from this my last will and testament as I have provided for him during my lifetime in my declaration of trust." So he specifically referenced his son in the last will and testament, but what he stated was that he had already provided for him in a trust that had been set up. So in other words, Burt Reynolds set up a trust and distributed out his estate via the trust rather than the probate process. This really accomplished 2 things for his family. Number 1, it provided privacy. As you can see, there is very little information that you can get from the will. And this is probably because it was a pour-over will. It's designed to catch things that did not get put into the trust so that it would be pushed into the trust. For example, the idea behind the trust is that you take your assets, you put it into the trust, and that way when you pass away, nothing gets frozen in probate. So since nothing gets frozen in probate, nobody really has to know what you have and who's getting it. It provides a great deal of privacy, and privacy is very important for a lot of people, and especially celebrities, because they're often in the public eye. Well, in Burt Reynolds' case, we're not going to know what was in that trust. We're not going to be provided a copy of the trust because the trust doesn't get filed down at the courthouse. Your will gets filed down at the courthouse and becomes part of the public record, but trusts do not get filed down at the courthouse. And so we're not going to know what he had and where he was sending it after he passed away. So the number 1 thing that it allowed for his family was that it allowed them to have some privacy. Number 2. The number 2 thing that it provided for his family was that they were able to get their inheritances much quicker than had they gone through probate. You see, probate is a lengthy and often costly process. Here in our state, probate can take anywhere from a year to a year and a half to 2 years. Well, the idea behind the trust is that since the assets are inside the trust, they aren't frozen. So a person can step into Burt Reynolds' shoes, we call this person the successor trustee, and they can distribute out his assets according to his wishes in the trust without having to go through and get authority from the probate judge in order to do it. The fact that Burt Reynolds has passed away gives the successor trustee the authority to go out and distribute out the assets that are inside the trust according to his wishes. So the family, they are able to get their inheritances much quicker than having to go through probate. So those are the 2 ways that it has really worked out for Burt Reynolds' family and how Burt Reynolds got his estate planning right. He provided privacy for his family upon his passing, and his family was able to get their inheritances much quicker than having to go through the lengthy and costly probate process. All right, so that's all we have for today. If you've watched our videos for any amount of time, you know that what we do is that we do estate planning for individuals. And what we've done is we've created a book called Estate Planning for the Modern Family. And what you're going to want to do is get a copy of that book because it is a great starting place when it comes to planning your own estate. And if you want to learn a little bit more about the firm or perhaps even set up a free consultation with myself, you can call us at 678-809-4922. That's 678-809-4922. Or there's a link in the description below where you can set up a free consultation. All right, so that's really all that we have for today. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We put out new videos every Tuesday and Friday. And make sure that you hit the like button because, hey, every like helps.